Is this thing on? Is this thing on? I believe that we are active. Before we get started, I just want to say hello and welcome to all my fellow future entrepreneurs as we expand our horizons. You know, expand our horizons toward profit to some degree, but you know I cannot be so bold as to state that. Here, let us enter new horizons. Yes, this is who up Gregging they tech, I believe, is the terminology. But surprise, welcome one, welcome all to to the what is this, the worm zone. Yeah, it took over. I would not use such strong terminology here. Perhaps we should say we acquired the bug zone in a sort of merger. A sort of you know, you, the, they call this the IPO. So we have acquired this asset. We Yes, you see, all assets have been liquidated to worm form, as we currently stand. Oh no, it's okay. You would not want to escape, because this means an excellent growth opportunity for all members of the bug zone. This means, you know, I these things can be hard. These things can be hard sometimes. You hear the terms merger. You hear acquisition. It can be frightening. Trust me, I know. But let it be known that this is an opportunity for all, and we must take the reins and be leaders. I don't think of us as members of the bug zone, nor do I think of us as denizens of any form of worm zone. I think each of us are the spark of a future, a future zone, a fire, a light within the center of one's heart. Uh, what I folded on the intro bit by real. This is this is this is the way things, the way the world. Oh, the flower works on this thing. I mean, of course it works. This was meticulously planned out. It wriggles like crazy. It wriggles like wild. While it's out though. But what does this mean? What does this mean? You know, I've been thinking, they call this like those who are in the know, those who know of the secrets beneath the soil, we've heard of this thing known as, I believe it's called, you know vibe coding. And this is perhaps this is I know that there were plots to play arena, because a certain someone had said they would do that at a certain funny number. But all plots are discarded. We enter the realm of the vibe. And so we have to make an impact. We have to make our killer feature in this regard. But still don't know what vibe coding is. This is perhaps part of the exploration. You have to feel out the vibe to this degree. You have to feel out the vibe. I think we can begin this with the power of the strongest artificial intelligence tool out there, known to man, called GNU Emacs. Can perhaps get us started. Because I am but a worm. I am but a worm beneath the soil. I am not the creative powers of a supercomputer. So I wonder to myself, what is the means? Like, what is the means by which one vibe codes something? Well, why don't we just ask? The system ourselves? Let's initiate a bit of a vibe shift. Um,
Meteor happens.
a widget powered by worms and written in Elixir, which has the goal of focusing on the power of friendship. You see, this is excellent vibe. I don't know how the hell to write Elixir. This is
Meteor happens.
Meteor does happen. that the meteor was in its own ways a bit of a vibe shift. It was in its own ways. This is how we feel it out. We feel out the vibe. Meteors as a vibe shift, not shift. There. That's the correct one. And I think we determined a widget written in Elixir. So this is the vibe as it currently stands. You know, and this is we just kind of feel it out. We kind of feel it out in this regard. And it's powered by worms. This is the important part. No matter what we vibe out, it will be powered by worms. And what was it about the power of friendship? The power of friendship. This is the vibe. This is the vibe. There's that one television show. They state that you know such things are magical. I know nothing about this. Neither do I know. Do I even have Elixir installed on here? That's a better question. Do I? Do I? Oh, there's warnings. Oh, that's fun. I do. Okay. So we like to feel it out here. We like to feel out the vibe, and what better way to do that than you've heard of, they call them the large language models. What if we didn't use that? What if we didn't use that? What if we used a large worm model? There's a setup in there somewhere. Just pretend, feel out the vibe. Pretend it concluded as it should. I'm the psychotherapist. Please describe your problems. When you're finished talking, type return twice. Okay. So we just have to ask it, right? We just have to say, what was our prompt? There it is. So we just ask it. We just ask it. Actually, though, I think it's kind of rude to just barge in with a question like that. So we have to make sure that we're on the same level. So we just have to check in, like, what's the vibe today? What's the vibe today? Why do you say what's the vibe today? Because I want to know. Because I want to be polite and considerate of your feelings, computer. I I want to be polite and considerate of your feelings. Doctor. This thing is the doctor. Okay, doctor. What makes you believe you might want to be polite and consider? We're getting nowhere with this. We're getting nowhere with this. We're getting. I don't think. I do not believe that the Emacs doctor is the vibe. But yeah, we will just slam dunk. We will just hawk towards this future, as they say. How the hell does Elixir? How the hell does? Oh wait, if you search it, it's the first thing that pops up. That's surprising. I thought you would. Well, no, the first thing that pops up is a sweetened and aromatic solution of alcohol and water, serving as a vehicle for medicine. Oh, there's some rendering issues in Greg, and I thought I was going crazy Thaumcraft style. Thaumcraft. Okay, I freaking love Thaumcraft. Okay, this has been so that this is so there were two mods that I think of often with Minecraft. I think of the two. I think of. I probably have to actually type in the word Minecraft. I forget whenever I am searching something that it cannot auto detect that I am thinking about a certain that I'm thinking about a certain subject. I just type in the word witchery and expect it to know I mean Minecraft. But I was really deep into this one. This was probably this was probably a favorite. You know, I would spend forever. The the hobgoblins in this. The oh yes, no, I spawned into the Greg zone and immediately saw hobgoblins abound, and I was like, this is exciting. This is all one could want. But I like I love this because you could get them to um, live at Kong's house. They can be useful for, exactly. I love to like amass like a little platoon of them, and I would build them really really cute housing. I would, yeah. I guess in essence, you know, I think it's you know I think they I treated them better than the villagers. I think about the villagers sometimes whenever I remember playing Minecraft whenever the first trading like major like trading update occurred with the villagers, and I the villagers fucking killed them. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh is this is alarming. This is disturbing. This is horrifying. They're just little guys. This is fucked. Oh my no. Oh, this is fucked up. Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is this like are like no they just went after a lone hobgoblin and just gave him the beat. I hate this. I you see you see this is why I believe that in Minecraft like just absolutely mowing down any of the villagers if they do not benefit you is reasonable and justified. This is this is the just like the justified position here. But yeah, I used to I remember whenever the trading update had come out originally, and I recall with this there were no villages. Like I had this like permanent world that I had been playing for like I believe quite some time, like some number of years. I had like I believe they call these forever worlds is what people are terming them now. It is long since like long gone now, which is sad. But it did not have any villages near it, so I had to go to where new chunks had yet to generate because this is before villages were plentiful. And so I did that right. I walked the scene. I walked like north or something like that. You know, for days in Minecraft, like until I found a village. And what did I do except build a river and boat the villager, like two of the villagers, back to like my little base that I had set up. I built them because I don't know built a river. Yes, this was the case. I had a bucket of water and a boat, and so I dug like a single block wide like little river thing to transport them, and just rode them all the way back. I must have been like 14 at the time or something like this. I can't remember, but there was let's see, breeding Minecraft doors. I think no, I think it was a boat, unless I'm misremembering. Or did I just float them down there? I remember building a river, and I remember water transport. But I I think they had. I think that you could put two in a boat together. If not, the more horrible implications are that I just floated them down via like water, which is worse. I believe. Whatever. Indeed, this is the case. But I remember reading. Yes, I'm an adult. Just give me the wiki. Do they do it door based? Yeah. Formerly, it was set by the number of doors in the village, where various rules defining a valid door. So I, what I had, what I had done in this situation is I had built a series of, I believe they were 2 by 3 rooms or something like that, because that was what was required to count as like a valid inside. and each one had four doors, one on each wall, and I built an entire building made of these. Put two villagers in there, and then just like would you know, I guess like using the doors, like breed like an entire village inside of this little building, and then whenever they didn't have good items to trade, I would just kill the ones that didn't have good trading items. And I think back on this, I'm like, this was kind of horrifying. This was like like this was like an like villager industrial complex to some degree. It was kind of terrifying. So you can make a 3x3 wall, put doors on both sides, and then put a villager next to it. Then like 5 blocks up, put the breeders, and they will breed forever. Yeah, it was something that to this nature. I wanted it to look somewhat aesthetic though, but it ended up looking like a prison, like a prison, and I you would walk past it and just hear the routine closing and opening of doors like endlessly. And yeah, they you know it was I think a lot about this. I think a lot about like uh most effective ways to control mobs. The AI does not work. This is indeed the case. I think about I had a zombie, like was it zombie prison of this nature, or not just zombie but like various mobs using I think it's the like was it cobblestone slabs. I do not recall what these are called, the half bricks, these half bricks. um I believe that there I don't know if it's still the case, but mobs would not spawn on them, despite like there being low lighting. And so I had this really intricate system set up uh, wherein I would have these pathways, and then I had these redstone controlled windows that whenever I went there and I noticed that it was populated with mobs, I would pull a lever, open up the windows, and destroy them with the power of sunlight. If I'm recalling this correctly, and it was this like zombie slash skeleton prison island thing. It was on an island on the outskirts of my base, which given I was a child, was my fortress, my home, as I called it, was entirely underground, like like an anthill with only the top exposed, and it was built entirely of obsidian because I thought that if I built it in anything else, it would get exploded. Oh, hello, Control O as well. Welcome to the Worm Zone. Welcome to the Worm Zone. We're worming out today. What? Oh, I have to remember the bit. Welcome, future entrepreneur Control O. To the Worm Zone. Yes, this is the Worm Zone. We have acquired the Bug Zone, and what was a notable acquisition. The occasion is the day, the as they call it, card zero, card as they call it, card zero, as they call it, room one of the Binding of Isaac floor. Things of this nature. You know, this character, the eternal jester of the month of April, they call it. But in reality, it's just we have the day is over for me. It is just beginning for me. Well, no, it's not just beginning. It's like 8 p.m. here, but I took a nap, so it feels like it's just beginning. I had the best nap ever. But yeah, we've acquired the Bug Zone in a bit of a a merger or an acquisition, I guess, whichever terminology you prefer. And from here on out, we had, what was it, Robux. These are this is no longer the currency we shall use. We are entrepreneurs. We use only worm coin. We use only worm coin here. And we, yeah, Lisp, as they say, the Steel Bank Common Lisp, more like still not relevant since the 80s. I can't insult Lisp. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do that. No, I can't make that joke. But we only care about there's things which will bring us conquest and enterprise. Uh, you mean this is chat? Wait, is this the Greg the Greg chat? Is this the oh in this chat? Oh, I misread this. I misread this. Oh the Mrao OS. I'm intrigued by this. I freaking love the OS. I I have been I've been, and I think Extra Xavier. I had I had mentioned this, or we had mentioned this. I have been exploring the Neo Cities, or like the Webring style again, and I found a new one. I found the zones. This is the case. I've been sucked into them. You know, it is like it is like and I recalled I believe they call this a serendipitous moment. They call this serendipity. I recalled one that I had found aeons ago, and it is, you know, it is very. I think it's very topical, but we can we can look at it. We can look at it right now. I I believe I've been a fraud this entire time, and I did not realize it because deep in the recesses of memory, worm delicious. And if we look here, if we look at wait, is that Saddam Hussein? That's Saddam Hussein. Oh, this is old. This is old. But where do they say it? Where do they say it? Yeah, wormium is a world famous beverage, which is made or up of our world famous ingredients that will have you worm out. Is this origins? I think this is origins of some sort that I had forgotten about. These are lost to the annals of time to some degree. But yeah, sometimes you gotta drink some wormium and worm out on a Friday night. Worm out worm heads. You, I, I wonder um, if this was existing in the back of my mind, like for like unbeknownst to me, like a dark influence has been brought to light today on this special day. But yeah, I think I or gave you a shout out. We must do the let us let us do the shouting out as well, because we have yes, we all know this person. We uh something really weird. Oh, I'm embroiled now in OS. The um it's not Google HTML. Wait. Oh, this is hello, wind up boy. Hello and welcome. Or should I
A
say?
new hand touches the beacon.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Camden82002. What is this? This is the worm zone. You know, welcome to the we're we're worming out today. I guess is the way you would say it. This is yeah. We acquired the bug zone in acquisition. Where is worms bugs? You see, I'm inclined to say yes to this. We acquired the bug zone in what was an acquisition, you know, of the ages. And you're seeing the beginning of a new project. We are all in this room right now, as I like to say, future entrepreneurs. And I am here to pave the way toward our future together as worms, as beavers fish. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. You know, I cannot as the head of this new enterprise. I cannot make such controversial statements in you know for the public eyes. But we are out here. We are out here worming out, as they say. We are vibe coding. Um, we are vibe coding, which is why there has been nothing written yet. Depend on you for taxonomical wisdom. This is perhaps the vibe actually. This is the vibe taxonomy. Let us inquire with our our state of the art LLM that we have in our system. What do you think? Ah, yes, it is making me think. This is um the last thing I wanted to do was use the powers of the mind. I think so though. I don't have to give you an answer, MX Doctor. We are, but yeah, we are vibe coding worm style. So I think GPTL. No, this is MX Doctor. State of the art. It is the what Eliza AI. This thing, yes, the one based off of this. Mad Slip, which I remember reading this and originally thinking it had stated Mad Lisp, and I was like, that's such a cool name. But then I see that it has a Lisp-like representation, so I was not far off. But yeah, I believe it's based off of this. I believe this is the original basis for it. It is, it is the psychotherapist. It is our, I'm not going to use like so mission. The mission is vibe coding our future. I think I honestly, yeah, we're like 30 minutes into the bit. Okay. I don't think we're actually gonna vibe code. I think the mission is probably common list, but because I don't want to write elixir. But yeah, this is you know that's actually that's the vibe. That's just the vibe. The vibe is Wayland. Yeah, that's what I'm actually thinking. I'm thinking the actual vibe is Wayland. I really don't want to write elixir. That sounds terrifying. You have great victories to celebrate now. This is indeed the case. We've made it quite far. We can actually, if we go into the project, can we go to the ASDF for it, and then let's see what oh yeah. So if we go here, if we go into the buffer, and then let's load this in, and yes, you can execute the script. Oh wow, it didn't take long at all that time. And then we can, let's disable this, and then all right, there we go. Now we are cooking. It just takes 2 minutes of it just takes 2 minutes of setting up like the REPL to actually be able to use the REPL, because geeks a moment. And it, we're still not there. Victories to celebrate now. Oh, thank you. The Lisp is strong. Thank you. This means a lot. I've noticed that the indentation in your code does not conform to what Sly thinks it should be. Do you mean in the protocol code? Because me and Sly fight. Yeah, we fight back and forth on this. I do not know that. I believe the source of it is that I use if we do Control HK. This is the offending one. Lispyville Prettyfy seems to be the one that does this, and what Emacs wants to do is idiomatic correct. I believe this is the case. The actual protocol code, though, if you mean this part, here, let's load this before I forget. Before I forget the mission of actually getting the thing loaded. Yeah, I believe if we look at the protocol code though. Like, let's hop into I test data. Oh, the indentation is aggressive. Yeah, whenever I tab it, it does this. What happens if I... I actually don't know the sly indentation command. Is that it? Wait, is that it? Alright. Mark is set now. There is no region. Your Emacs is weird. This is perhaps an evil mode moment. Let's see. What if we just go into Emacs mode? Or maybe we do Lispy indent. Oh yeah, no, this is probably the case. I'm using Lispy. I think I do have pair edit. But I do not use it. And yeah, I have to use kind of the... I don't even use Lispy. It's Lispyville, which is the version that conforms to evil mode, I guess is the way to describe it, because otherwise it will kind of freak out on you. Which it uses yeah. Evil indent. Is this it? This code is not not what is expected. Is there like a preferred format to this? Emacs /time. How do we indenting region done. Okay, this is odd. See, mark the form and then try C the C meta slash. I don't think that changed anything. Oh no, commercial. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I don't think that... Yeah, I think with this, oh no, is it stuck like this? What happens if we... Let's see. So what do they list as the like, because it's called Prettify, pretty, all right. There we go. Prettify. Corresponding symbol is Prettify. Of Lispy tab, in addition to correcting indentation, remove empty new lines and pull trailing and closing. I only mentioned because I noticed earlier. Well, yeah, no. Now I'm curious. I didn't know that there was like a kind of agreed upon indentation style with this regard. So this is good information to know. That makes sense as well. I think with the, if you look over in the like test data, because this one is not indented by me. This one has the indentation run through CL Indentify after it's generated, because um, which this one's kind of its own mess, but it's been a challenge because there's a lot going on. But this one has its indentation done through Indentify, so I think if this is a bit more what you would call conforming to the system of it, I could probably just run everything through Indentify in this case. But yeah, we've kind of achieved like a like initial victory. Everything is exported or from the client, like client side, all the exported code is doing its job. It's moving and grooving in that regard. Like if we go into the examples and into the registry here, this is um or let's see the package def. Oh, do you mean at the top here, the UIApp defined package? Yeah, this is kind of a mess, but I think or the formatting is kind of like the final frontier in this respect. But there are I believe close to, there's over 100 symbols that we end up exporting from like just one of the can we make the code frame slightly wider? Oh, just like so. Yeah, it's rather intense, I would say, in terms of just the sheer amount that we are. Oh, is this the, would you say correct indentation in this regard? But um, yeah, we have to export a lot. I kind of hate it. I kind of hate that Wayland is like this, but I'd say this is also aggressive. Oh no, this is the one that was done through. So for this one, what I used was the I used this tool, so I so that I did not have to go through and manually indent it. So I wonder if it's the indentation like settings. Be a terrible. Everything would change. Oh, I mean I would be completely accepting of this. I have horrible diffs all the time because of these auto generated files. Whenever or correct a type like a typo, and need to like push the new file to testing, it's like deleted 5,000 lines and wrote 5,000 lines. I'm like, I did not do that. The thing did it on its own. But such is the case, I think, with Wayland. It's kind of, it's a little bit of an Emacs is highly unusual. I think this might be the case. I think that there's an indent setting, and this is probably configured somewhere deep within my Emacs, and I forgot about it. Um, now that I think about it, I think I had some sort of tab indentation like setting I modified for like or I just have sly and pair edit. I think for mine it's because on vanilla. Yeah, for mine it's using evil atop everything. I have pair edit installed, but I don't use it. Instead, what I use is Lispyville because I found it plays a bit nicer. But I use the evil mode as well. So, you know, it is far outside the realm of the the vanilla for that alone. But I freaking love modal editing, like being able to switch between like the different states. It's can't even think without para edit. You know, I this is very core to my pro. This is me with Vim key bindings. This is like I was a Vim user for quite some time, and so like I have so much of like the motion of it like stuck in my brain and in such a visceral way that it, you know, even navigating Firefox, I have I believe it's called this, yeah, tridactyl. Yeah, tridactyl is the name of the extension. This thing, which is in essence Vim key bindings that work for your browser as well. I feel aged. I feel aged and inexperienced at the, or like I'm working with newfangled technology the moment I have to interact with my mouse for anything longer than playing a computer game, which you know such as, but I play like horribly old things like Gothic 3, which have tank controls. So you know it's not that the Gothic 3 doesn't have tank controls anymore, but Gothic 1 built on Stump WM. You see, this is I think the core for me is definitely which is why I'm so interested in Wayland. You know, this is the ideal for me is a stump for Wayland. I think about this a lot, or you know, because I am on Hyperland currently, but I really find myself missing the concept of treating windows as buffers. I find myself missing this with Stump. Uh, in a bright future, we will work on this together. This is, you know, this is truly the end goal of you know, this is the end goal of Worm Enterprises, as they say, as we are now. But yeah, we do have this is a fully compliant Wayland client now. That is, this is like a minimal, like, what do you call this? Like the minimal level of testing, but and it's verbose, but that's because Wayland is verbose. You know, like ideally you would export these like whenever you import like Wayland.protocol.client, you would provide it a nickname or something of this nature, because these are verbose package names, but we have to be so, because this is how Wayland. I have an idea for a streaming gizmo built out of Stump WM and Trial. I still I still need to play with Trial. This would be exciting. This would be exciting to bear witness to. But I think about Trial often because I've yet to poke around at it, but it doesn't build on geeks. You know, I'm not I have a new laptop that does not have geeks on it that I could very easily build it on, so I might do it on that one, but it does not build on geeks currently because no one has packaged it, and I could be the one to take that up, but I probably will not be that one. Full blooded gen. I believe this. I believe this wholeheartedly. They're like, Stump isn't Wayland, right? No, it is not. Oh, Control O, you might like this though. You might like this. This is more of the This is more the Guile Zone. So this is someone I know through let's see, Sway WM. Will I be able to find it, I guess, is the real question. I think it was on Codeberg. I believe it was on Codeberg, but this is of the Guile Zone. Someone I've spoken with via IRC has written a what's it, I3? Yes, this is it. This is it. I found it. Oh wow, they're still working on it too. Oh, that's exciting. I think I was one of the first people that wasn't the creator of this that actually used this, but this hello first time chatter Tam Weil as well. Hello and welcome to the Worm Zone. But yeah, I think that you may find this of interest. Control O. This is a it's not guile, but this is scheme. This is chicken scheme for controlling the I3 bar. I had a plan. One of my original projects was I was going to do a I3 slash sway bar in guile so that I could call it gay bar because I thought that would be funny. But I, I did like a prototype in Common Lisp, and then I was like, what if I just do Wayland instead? What if I just do Wayland instead? And so here we are. Speaking of which, we have this has been a high high degree of yapping so far. This is can we actually pull up the at the example server is a good mode line. This is entirely necessary. Derailed the mission. Uh, oh no, there. I went into this with I went into this with no mission statement other than this is the 1st of April. We must make the most of it. But I encountered an interesting mode line error on Stump, and I think this is the thing that made me end up not using it anymore. But there was something in the configuration that one day just quit working for reasons inexplicable, and the mode line would loading the mode line would crash the entire computer, and it was like this for some time. And then I wound up back on Wayland after that because I started on my Linux journey, I guess you would say, started using Wayland, and back to Wayland I went eventually after that error. So let's see. Default I3 barland. This is the the best method, honestly. I feel like the more default something looks like, the more I don't I I don't know. I think about this often. Because whenever I started messing with Linux, like at the I fell deep into the customize everything kind of rabbit hole. And I think about it now because I think like NixOS being one of the first distros I used, did not help in this because it was all about kind of like your configuration, and I would spend forever configuring everything, but writing little to nothing in terms of projects. And the tables have turned. I think finally we're at that point where I forget to update my system, and it's been like 2 months, and I get a warning whenever I try to download a package that says your system is out of date. I'm like, I'll do it eventually. I'll do it eventually. Actually, I did update it today because I had to. Uh, Thank you. This is the this is we are approaching. I feel like I almost know Lisp almost as well as I know revisit the Guile Sway. Oh, the Guile Swear. This is. Let me know if you do. This thing is exciting. I don't like Sway, but if I did like Sway, I would use it. I would use it. Ali, thank you for this. Yes, I do hope that we are, yeah, I do hope that the improvements are improving. I guess would be the way to describe it. I don't. It's Lisp and C. I think like I feel like I'm getting to the point where I know Lisp almost half as good as I the Lispy interface. Perhaps we should look at Wayland roots. This is kind of the idea is targeting something like Wayland roots is kind of the, I would say, base concept, because what you can look at, like if we go to Wayland roots, we kind of we're kind of stuck with like, it's I guess a deal with the devil situation whenever it comes to this, because I think about it on the one hand, writing direct bindings to something like Wayland roots will save a lot of headache. It'll save a lot of headache, But on the other hand, we will be binding to more C. Whereas if we're binding to the base Wayland protocol, we will be able to ostensibly at least like from move on from that, like create like binding free like Lisp library, Lisp style. This is what I think. This is what I think. But the thing is, Wayland Roots does a lot of work. Like I think kind of the roadmap. Like if the way I envision it in my head is, so Wayland has this thing, which is kind of their I guess you'd say like minimal viable product for a um a Wayland compositor. It is called Weston. Um, and I think about this. I think that being able to construct something like Weston before moving on to, like larger library systems is probably the next critical step, because that will, I think, give like a better understanding of like what are we working with, like what are our base tools that we're working with here, and then we will be able to figure out like what the best way to approach it in something like Lisp would be, which a lot of that will probably look like Wayland Roots, because I'm gonna be honest, they kind of have the right idea with a lot of their interfaces, but some of it might not. Like some of it, like it'll probably be a lot more like I'd say cost dependent. But this also something like this also brings up the issue of, do we have a make file, a mason.build. Do they tell us what the dependencies are? Do they tell us what the dependencies are? Uh, Hammered into optimally, even if calling convention is not. Yeah, and this is another issue. However, with Wayland Roots, is it is poorly documented. Also names. Oh yeah, names. We would not be doing like the C style names. We can liberate ourselves from that once we are out of the bindings zone. I think we can probably see actually if we just go to something like eat, um, and then search. There we go. Okay. So like we will still be like Pixman is like a big one, I think, and then some of the other like kernel level like, or like more or closer to like the kernel level like libraries as well, because Wayland is only one part. These things will need to be figured out as well, in order to create like even a minimum compositor. Like clients will be a bit easier, but compositors are a whole can of worms. No pun intended. Given our current status. But I think that like building something like Weston would be the next step. If I'm honestly, I'm hoping that like the XKB common or Pixman bindings, the terrible reality of Wayland. This is kind of the case. It is the everything needs to be a compositor. This kind of is the case. It is, what do they call it? A double edged sword, because I understand, like I understand like logistically this is, I find this a positive whenever I think about it logistically, but whenever it comes to like not being able to just like bang something out like a few thousand lines, it feels different. It feels different, but I think the ideal case is that once this is over with, like once Wayland is complete, either by that point we'll have like some like decent bindings we can locate, that we are able to locate for like Pixman and like yeah, or Pixman, and then the other big one is like XKB common. If that's not the case, we probably will have to write those as well, but like building a Lisp form of something Weston like a minimal product, I think is that the main next step in this. But we are kind of getting there. We're on the server part. This is we're going server style now, which you see there's not a lot in this currently because I had not yet gotten this far. So um from the to-do list. This would be greatly appreciated. We currently it's I've been doing a lot of documentation because I realized if it's well documented, I will know what I was doing, but like also others looking at it will I don't be able possibly be able to help. Yeah, it's been a rather fun. It's been rather fun. I've been using this tool, which it's only in the scanner currently, but if we go to like right here, yeah, MGL Packs is the name, which is I think my favorite documentation tool I've encountered ever because it makes it kind of you can define the sections wherever you want. So I usually define them next to the relevant tool, and it is quite literally like the making code documentation code. So I think we'll start right here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take this and we'll call this the server. Oh, oops. And what's cool about this thing is this sets up a sort of like it won't say anything right now. But if we go to this one, if we go to undefined, oh, you can't just call it like that. I forgot. I believe this is how you call it. What do you mean you cannot locate the interface? It is. Oops, typo. Can we actually make a window and do a thing to it? Not yet. We are getting to that point. So for that, what you need for something like that is this right here. It is. Can we go to the Wayland to the base Wayland protocol to the repository. So what you need for something like that is actually not part of kind of the. Oh, I didn't realize we have a likely ban evader restricted underground dick. Best viewers at stream. This is not worm-like behavior. We shall send to the shadow realm to the shadow. Goodbye, best viewers. Oh, we had robotic style best viewers likely ban evader. Oh, it doesn't appear in the chat anymore. I guess because it says likely ban evader. But yeah, we had robotic style best viewers. There's nothing. Okay. Yeah, it has been nuked. But for a window, what you actually need is this the EGL interface for like working with OpenGL. This one is I haven't dug into it too much, so I'm not too aware of everything it does, but it seems relatively relatively straightforward. You just have a couple of functions. So I think for this, it primarily depends on how it builds, like as the sourced object. But this one is post server work. Can some of this be auto wrap? Potentially. I think potentially. I think like the low level CFFI, yes, but I'm not as sure about. So the issue with Wayland is some of it's not defined directly in the sourced object. It's like private code in a C file, but we need to extract that still. And so things like that can't be auto wrapped. I think that a lot of EGL is really straightforward, so it should be able to be auto wrapped. But yeah, so like whenever I think of this, like I think of a good example would be like the I'm trying to think. Like, I think a good example would be like some of the like the for each iterators, or like the ones that are used to retrieve like nested pointers. Which for each we just, that's like a Lisp loop. You don't really have to do much there, but like the nested like pointer like iterators are a bit more complex, and those are just these kind of nightmarish looking defines. But yeah, I think a lot of that's in the util. We're kind of out of like the hard coding part, or like the the more terrible aspects, and so now it's more so getting. Well, I mean, honestly, we're in the final section, like the home stretch, as they say. And yeah, so this is the server. So I don't believe we need that enumeration just yet. What we actually want to look at is what are we, if we hop into the CFFI here and we go to server, like it looks like we have everything in this. Yeah. I don't think we want this as a CFFI bit field though. And that can instead be brought into the server side. Yeah, if we defar that like so, and then if we remove some of these, oh, it's not. It was not margin style. Yeah, we can keep it like that. We can say same difference with the with these. But why does it do that? See, yeah, I think this is because of the mode I have. Like the prettify like does more than just indent. Which I should probably change that because it has caused some degree of grief here and there. Which are making your code unique. This is on a commercial. Oh no, not another commercial. Oh, this is the curse of monetization. How many of these? Wait, how many run? Is it a bunch? How do I make it do less? Oh, these are nightmare functions. Yeah, because those are the function pointers. A lot of these functies we actually don't really end up using too much, but we do want to be able to define the event loop stuff. So I think we can start off here. See, how do we term this? So I think we're going to want to have a couple of different um, are those magic constant. Oh, hello, Kieran. Welcome to the worm zone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Are those magic constants? Wayland or Wayland event. Um, these are yeah, these are basically like enumerations for making it making the function calls like a bit more like literate, I guess you would say, which it's they play a similar role to this right here. If we go to the example dot lisp, they play a similar role to these, where you have the sense version. Or no, the sense version is not the best example because that's the versioning. But if we look at these, yeah, Wayland pointer motion, enter and leave. So these are essentially constants that allow you to. It is a lot. This is due to the messaging system. So the way that a Wayland message is set up is, and we can actually pull one up here. Let's see. Okay, there. Now it loads. So it kind of comes down to how a Wayland message is set up, or an interface is set up. And an interface is actually an array of message structures. And you can see that if we go to the example private code. Oh, that's the small. We need the example. Yeah, so you have this right here, where in each one of these is a interface structure, and they are created as a rather lengthy list of this, and then under the hood, like each struct is also set up like this. And what these sort of like yeah, no, it's kind of wild. I think it has to do with like the way the messaging system works. And so what these constants do is basically set up like a way to, instead of being like, oh, go ahead and get me the fourth, like the fourth event for this interface, you're able to say get me Wayland pointer access, which is easier to write out, I guess you would say. Recall, you're not relying as much on memorizing the order that these things are being passed through. And I believe there's probably a better way to do this. I do believe deep down there's got to be a better way to do this, but to a variable struct. So on the Lisp side, like right here, we have this Wayland pointer access. If we look at the example private, and we go to see, we need to find Wayland pointer events. So yeah, if we look right here, access is the, it's zero index, but it's zero index the fourth event in this set of messages, which is similar to this right here. So these two are essentially synonymous in some regards, except one uses the class interface and the other uses an array of structs style. And we have to emulate this so that we have to emulate this because on the wire, this is what Wayland expects. This is like what is expected kind of on the wire level of the protocol. And since we aren't redefining the wire, we have to conform to this still. And what this does is creates that as a set of like an array of messages that has an underlying CFFI struct as well that carries with it all of the same information but accessible through a Lisp interface. So access here is the fourth item, which you can then access if we go into message test, you're able to make calls. Oh, these are exported now. I don't have to do these anymore. but you're able to make calls like the following, where you select like set buffer transform, which gives you like the nth or the nth item of that list, and the nth item is whatever set buffer transform is numbered, like what number it's mapped to. And if we go back into example, which is number 7 in this array essentially, and we do have a C array like underlying this. Yeah, it is defined. It is constant. This is an unchanging value. It says a def var because these things get rebuilt a lot, while like testing like the generated code, making sure it works and everything. It gets rebuilt a lot, and every time the def constant would rebuild, SBCL would lose its fucking mind. It would be like, this is, you're redefining a constant. I'm like, no. Well, yes, but no. Yeah, this is what I have inferred, and so we're using def vars for this. But yeah, this is, it ends up being, I would say, at the end of the day, we have a file of, well, that's just continuous. That's the server. We end up at about, it looks like close to 4,000 lines of generated code for that. If we look at the example client here, yeah, we were able to cut down like on the complexity barely, but nonetheless, and that's even with the exports here. Like, that's with all of this shit here, which if you go to the top of the C file, you know, you just have that instead. But yeah, it's a rather convoluted system, but such is the way of these things. Such is the way of these things. I think it's, you know, just kind of like they could have. There could have been something. Does not fill me. You see, it fills me with joy. I think is, you know, the you know, the worm which wriggles around in my head is, I love C, and I love kind of like the object oriented like style of like approaching C, and so this has been, and perhaps it's because I have done a lot of like poking at Wayland over the time of using it, but I find myself quite comfortable existing in it. But this may be, you know, this may be more of a symptom of my own mind than it is a compliment toward Wayland. But I think for this, and then we want to define a couple of sections. I think some of the sections that we want to define, and we do this via that style. So I think the way we would define this is we would have a section for the event loop. We'll call it server event loop. So that's one section that we definitely need. Another one, of course, I think we're going to have to define is the display. And what else do we have in here? So we have the information for working with the event loops. Struct listener. Oh god, no, not more listeners. We have display, and then there's like globals are the next big thing, which I believe are. So we'll start with those three. Oh no, it happened again. Oh wait. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, let's disable that. can we can we disable morale? Um, Bimb of sort indeed. All right. I I apologize to Exor Xavier. Yeah, we actually did a we accidentally did a recursive route. I thought I had disabled that. I am sorry, Exor Xavier, for exiling you via morale once again. This is it shall not return until we have a loop check. I don't think Haskell has looping, not in the traditional sense at least. Not in the traditional sense at least, but bots need to check that an utterance is from another bot. This is, yeah, this has been. I think this is the second time this has happened. The first time it was somewhat intentional, and then I forgot to disable it. And I was like, that just caught me off guard. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! You, that that's recursion for you, I guess. So what do we define the event loop as? So we define this first as like. Let's see. We could just call it like protocol functions and accessors for interacting with server, not server, server side. Yeah, we'll just say functions and accessors for interacting with server side protocol code. And we'll just say that right now. And then for the event loop, we can define a section right below that. And def section at server event loop. And then what does this say? What does this say? Tell us about the event loop. So we first define a structure for it. Which we have that in the client as well, I believe. The client has the event queue. Okay. So I think we could define like a name here as well that inherits from the Wayland object. But I think with something like this, we can stick somewhat close to the documentation provided like therein, and from there, like as we come to understand like what we are creating, like as it unfolds, that this will improve. But we need to start with something, I guess, in this respect. So we'll just say like family of definitions and functions that define Wayland event loop, and we'll say accessors and its accessors. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue with the sort of adding these structs in as classes that have no slots but provide kind of a name to access the class from, that provides a bit more information than just saying it's an object. So we will say, call this the event loop. It inherits from what is def section? Oh, this is the Uh, Big Book of Bug. Hello, L colon Q. Hello, and welcome to the worm zone, as they say. This is welcome to the worm zone. Oh, I have to remember the line. Welcome, future entrepreneur to the worm zone. Um, yeah. With I would shout out Elko and Cuba. I believe we've already done we have done that, as it says here 57 minutes ago. But yeah, the dev section is part of this documentation tool I found that I am kind of very the recursive morale hell. I This was rest in peace Xorbot. Um, we have killed morales on this side, so it shall not happen again. And I'll figure out how to like test the bot. But yeah, the dev section is this tool right here, which I think is one of my favorite documentation like tools I found ever. I mean I like Doxygen, but what it allows you to do is create these def sections for documentation, and you're then able to combine all of those def sections into a or into like a kind of cohesive document. It goes through and it collects all of these based on sort of like your subsection settings, and you call document on that, and you get like an outputted document that yeah, no, it's amazing. You can I think it's defined right now for like markdown, but yeah, this is made up of I think probably 3 or 4 different sections currently for the scanner. Um, and oh, hello, Sergeant Pepper, and welcome. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the worm zone. You know, total welcome, future entrepreneur, as they say. Welcome, and shout out to Sergeant Pepper. Very cool. Very rust coded is quite literally. Let's see. Bot loops turn out to be funny 100% of the time, unless you don't have control of. You see, I think this one was kind of funny the first time. It's less funny now because I think both times like XOR Xavier gets timed out for like an hour, if not more. I do not recall the timeout amount of time. But it is. But then I'm just like, oh no, dead. This yeah we this is poor XOR. Yes, this is the case. I had forgotten that I had not disabled it. And then again, I think like I had all these things I like in my head. I'm like, I need to did we devolve from butterfly to worm? Are you okay? Oh, you see, this is part of the. You see, the bug zone has been acquired by like the worm enterprise. So this is now the worm zone. We are now this is part of the acquisition. So all prior members of the bug zone, all prior denizens of the bug zone, we now refer to you as future entrepreneurs as we worm out toward a future which shall you know bring us great joy, bring our shareholders pride in this regard. We are yes, I welcome you all. If this is you can start investing now from the bottom up. You know we build a stable base, and we build upward in a perhaps pyramid shape sort of like planning. This is I would say in this like a pyramid shaped plan is afoot, and we build toward the top. And you too can be that capstone at the top of the great worm Giza. All you have to do is invest. But this is where we are now, post acquisition. It's exciting times. These events are often spoken with a great deal of fear, but I say fear not. Have optimism, for all destruction is, all supposed upheaval is but an opportunity to grow for growth. Like this is so confused. I am here for it. Well, this is this is I would say this perhaps has to do with a certain day that today is you know a certain first day of a certain month. If you're a believer in the tarot, we could say card zero, as they call it. This shall not be permanent. I had a more extended bit that I made like an interface for that was the joke was going to be vibe coding, but I realized moments into it that I did not want to pretend to vibe code for 2 hours straight. That I was like I will do this for 20 minutes. 7 hours of Windows 95. Oh, this was amazing. This was quite amazing. I was trying to like I've been trying like all weekend to like cook up like some sort of like concoction. I'm like, what this is perhaps one of the most important holidays. There are like three important holidays I think of. We have April 1st, the funny day. We have Old Hallows Eve, the day that I dress up like Garfield and people wild out. People wild. You dress up like Garfield. Like people talk about like costumage and stuff. Dress up like Garfield. Like you will not regret dressing up like Garfield and going to some sort of social function because you will be the talk of the town. And this is the case. It doesn't even have to be a special occasion. You could dress up like Garfield and go buy groceries. People will remember you, and they will remember you positive. No one looks at somebody who looks like Garfield and they say, I fucking hate that person. They don't say this. They see someone that looks like Garfield and they say, ah yes, you understand that Mondays suck and you love lasagna. We're one and the same. Okay, this is Bugs Move. Oh, okay, so this is actually kind of deep lore. I have a Garfield fascination. This is somewhat known amongst like I would say like some of my closer friends who have known me for longer, but I do not talk about it very much because it does not come up very often. But I have a bit of a fascination. F John, am I right? This is yeah, no, literally. So I think about this. I've been a Garfield fan for some time. Oh, right. Or do thank you, Wind Up Boy. Thank you, and thank you for the luck, and do rest well if you're entering a state of slumber. But yeah, I remember I remember being like 10 years old, and seeing and learning oh 07 we do 07 around here. I remember seeing. I don't remember how old I was actually whenever the Garfield movie came out, but whenever that came out, that really horrible CGI one, I was quite the fan of this. I was quite the fan. I'm like, this guy hates Mondays and loves lasagna. This is just like me. And that year, I had a Garfield themed birthday party. Like, you know, I requested it, and instead of a cake, we had a lasagna because I was like, we have to play true to the nature of the Garf. And then at one of my places of work, I became somewhat notorious for my love of Garfield because whenever they would not let me or they would say the Monday, or they would not do the weekly welcome messages. These are it. They would have one of us like post in the Slack like a good morning, like, and it would rotate out in a week, and I would do Garfield. Every day I would go in there, I would post a Garfield, and one day they quit asking me to do it. But it's a job. They love Mondays there. That's why they say Happy Monday. Who the hell says Happy Monday in this world? But yeah, Garfield is. You will not regret. Dressing up like Garfield and entering a public location dressed as Garfield. This will only bring you fame and fortune. I believe this firmly. This is a conviction that I hold deep within my heart. But we were defining an event loop, were we not? Yeah, that's what we were doing. We were. So I think that we want the documentation. Can we enter the Wayland zone? Can we enter the Wayland zone here? Let's see. An event loop context. Ah, yes. This lets me know everything. Because these are our dispatcher functions. Those we can. I think those are used internally by the protocol, so we don't have to export those. I haven't had to yet, at least. You never know. You never know, but they will require writing callbacks, I think, which will be. Yeah, these would be a callback moment. They shouldn't be too hard to write, but somewhat of a pain. I'd have to remember how to do callbacks. Oh no. Let's see. Usually you create an event loop context, add sources to it, and call Wayland event loop to process events. So we'll just go ahead and note that this is the. We'd say like list object for a. Yeah, we'll say Wayland event loop struct. And let's see. I think that's really all we have to say about that, because this won't be used for anything other than providing a more efficient name to access the event loop under. Like, this is really we're kind of doing like opaque struct style, like with regard to that portion. But we will have to look at these. So the Wayland event loop create obviously just creates the event loop. Can we go to here? Wayland server. Yeah, Wayland server core.h. So we need to open up the C file because for whatever reason the documentation exists in the C file rather than. Well, it exists in both, but like it exists like in a mix of like the C file and the other one. So yeah, we're in server.c. And if we go to Wayland event loop create, wait, what the freak? Where's that being defined then? Oh, this is probably private code. This is. Yeah, this is. Let's see. We have private.h. No, are we defining this in the. Probably os.c. Where do you live? Where do you live? Okay, let's see. Oh, that's where you're in server.h. Let's see what it says about this. Abstract event source. That's not even defined there. So, what else are we exporting here? Server private.h. Is this where you live? No, that's just the private accesses. This is wild. Where are they calling this from? I think we will save that there for now, and we'll go ahead and define it right here still. So we'll just do because we're returning on this. It looks like this would just be an instantiator. So yeah, we'll be able to do it like this. Do it this style. So what we need to do on that is let's pop this over, and we'll need to initialize an instance. So the type that we are using for this is an FFI server. And we're calling that one. So we need to export that then. Or I think we need to define that. So if we go to Wayland server, alright, so we can go ahead and just define one right here underneath event loop. So we'll def c struct and we can go ahead and add that right here. Alright, so do we have proper export now? Yep, okay, perfect. Struct type, make instance event loop. Malformed entry. Oh, that's for the documentation here. Right, and this one will be server event loop. Oops. Okay, there we go. I think that's the only one we have currently, so let's go ahead and remove those so that we don't run into any more errors. Oh, we have another error. Okay, another one, as they say. This is what do you mean it is malformed? But hello, Brighter Malfon. Welcome to the worm zone. Welcome. Hello, Brighter Malfon, and should I say welcome, future entrepreneur. Future entrepreneur to the worm zone. Yes, this is the case. We've acquired.
I'm just okay being bald. It's not really that big of a deal.
Shout out to Brighter Malfon. We're on the grind set. This is we are. So the bug zone was acquired in what they would call what you would call a merger of sorts, an acquisition. We are now the. I feel bad for those like A squared and Control O, who I think I've heard those like five or six times already. But we've been acquired in an acquisition, or not we, the bug zone has. has been acquired in an acquisition. This is now the worm zone, and you're all on on the you know the bottom was it the bottom floor of this project. We are all future entrepreneurs together as we worm out toward a better tomorrow, as they say. This is you know or this is it's the funny day. Uh, on the bleeding edge of worm. This is perhaps the case. You see that we need trendsetters like yourself here. This is why you've been accepted. We need we need this kind of these movers and shakers. These disruptors. Because what was it, one or two worms alone, nothing. But you put 100 worms into a bucket of dirt, and you let them wriggle around. You're going to get better dirt in the end. You're going to get loam, as they call it. You're going to get loamy soil, and we are better soil. This is the case. We are turning the tides from sand to loam. Good good bit, by the way. Innovative substrate. We are at the front lines of substrate innovation. Good. Thank you. This is yes. This is it is the funny day, as they call it. This is the day of the jester. The day of the fool. Card 00. Or room one of whatever Binding of Isaac 4 you're on. A bit of a giggle. This is the case. The girl, indeed. It's rather, it's rather exciting. I can't wait to turn it back to a bug at the next go. I mean, what am I saying? We'll never go back. This is eternity now. We're in worm heaven, which is bug hell. Not right. The bugs like it here, I imagine. But yeah, this was the bit that was determined. It was more involved at one point, but I realized I didn't want to commit that hard to the bit, and I'm like, what if we just worm out, what if we worm out and we add, we add it so that you're unable to escape the worm. I've read. Okay, so this happened. This actually happened to me one year, like in my childhood. I did not realize there was April Fool's one year, and I was gotten by a joke that was by my parents intended to be very obvious because it was on April 1st, and the humor was supposed to be it is April 1st. You shall not fall for this, and I fell for it, and the joke was that we were moving to Kentucky, and I did not know where Kentucky was. And I was like, oh no, I don't know where we're going. And I remember I freaked out. I freaked out, and my parents were like, it's a joke. I'm like, oh, so we're not actually moving, right? And they're like, do you not know what day it is? I'm like, okay, this is, yeah, I think it was Kentucky. I believe it was Kentucky, because I remember having a distinct fear that, like, I didn't like KFC that much, and my fear was that because it was called Kentucky Fried Chicken, that's all there would be. This was my conception of the concept of Kentucky, and to some degree, I know there's Nashville there, and I know that too, but I will admit I'm probably not the most well versed in knowing anything about the outside world in any regard beyond what I have witnessed myself. I think it's an exciting, adventure whenever I go to the park or go get groceries. I'm like, whoa, they put people in this thing. This is wild. They put people on this planet. I have a little conception of the remainder of the states, but Texas is hard to leave. Like, the state's big as hell. It's big as hell. It's kind of massive here. But such is the way of the world. Physically hard to leave. This is the case. This really is the case. Like, no matter what direction you go, you're still in Texas for quite some time. No, literally, this has been it makes it you're kind of like it's kind of like the shadow realm. You're like trapped in it forever, except for there's the Bucky's gas station. Yeah, Texas will kill you if you don't have enough to escape the gravitational pull. This is the case. You get kind of yeehawed like into the and I think this is why. So we do like Bucky's. This is okay. This is are any of the non-Texans aware? So aware of. I was discussing this with a friend. There's a store known as we call it HEB is the name of it. Yeah, it is a local or no, it is a grocery store that it's the only one that like people in like most people I would say I know like shop at is like an HEB. It's like a really I don't know if
I'm just okay being bald. It's not really that big of a deal.
yeah, I don't know if uh I don't know if other states have this. I don't know if other states uh have or I heard of him from local Texan white girl Lala. Oh, I should ask Lala about thoughts on HEB because she yeah, this but I don't know if other states have like just a monolithic grocery store that somehow comes to represent like the the platonic ideal of grocery shopping for like their state. But in Texas we have HEB. We have HEB and there's one like no matter where you go there will be an HEB, and for 9 times out of 10 like most people will shop at an HEB before any other store. And I was thinking about this. I've shopped at an HEB my whole life. My family before I could carry within my own hands a card. My family shopped at HEB. I have no idea what like another grocery store is like, and I think I'm thinking to myself as part of this, the grand plan to escape Texas, like what the hell is out there? Like what is how does one like adjust to new grocery style? Like, what in the world? Like what is this? What I think about this often. I'm like I'm gonna go into a like grocery store that's not an HEB for the first time, and I'm going to need to buy something, and it's going to be like you know, it's going to be like stumbling onto a planet that I like onto like a distant planet where everything is kind of the same but just different enough to make you be like what the hell I it's gonna be like seeing those blue people from Avatar. I think like the alien one, not the last Airbender. What's HEB? Okay, so HEB is kind of the if we go to Wikipedia here, Hebrew language, no, HEB. It is a grocery company. The Butt Grocery Store, as it was formerly called. This thing is so ubiquitous. There are jokes about never made it the major pop culture. Oh, Avatar, yeah, I think it. It had very little lasting cultural impact. Like I think about it like even having to specify like I mean the blue people from the alien movie Avatar. Yeah, I remember it being like a huge deal or something whenever it came out, right? Like this was a thing like it was one of those movies where people it was I think the realism of the animation was something people talked about a lot that had it alleged that there's no way this is like animated. And yeah, no, it was. I recall this being like a big deal, like for like whenever it came out, and I think about it now, and I think what Avatar suffered from was the attempt to franchise it and the absolute failure. I think, and I could be wrong. I do not know the history of Avatar as a franchise, but I remember they tried to make a video game and it was horrible. It was a, you know, it's they tried to go franchise style for something that really did not fit that mold, and I believe that might have left some sort of like dark mark upon the film. Only recently make the second. Yeah, this yeah, you see they're kind of falling, and I think about this in terms of the so so I've been a huge fan of Lord of the Rings for ever since I believe like middle school. And I think about this in terms of the Hobbit movies, like often because they, in many ways, I feel like kind of were the beginning of like I guess like a Lord of the Rings. I don't have any opinion on what is it the Rings of Power or whatever the show is. I have not seen this. I do not watch television. I the last piece of media like I watched to completion. If I oh god that was so or that feels like forever ago. I think the last piece of media I watched I completed was probably Madoka Magica like 3 years ago. Was the last time I like completed any form of series. But yeah, I think about like so like Lord of the Rings had like the original movies were considered kind of like a bit of like a timeless thing. You know, they're kind of like yeah, like people talk about Star Wars and like Lord of the Rings. I don't really have an opinion on Star Wars, but I do on Lord of the Rings, and that it was very good and very cool movie. And then you have the Hobbit trilogy, which should not have been a trilogy. It would have been perfect if it weren't a trilogy. In my humble opinion. I saw the first one, and yes, CGI was really good. Scenario was bland as fuck. I mean, I saw the first one when it was released, but not the second. Oh, with Avatar, it was. Yeah, I think perhaps it was like there was some poor degree of story execution. I'm not aware, kind of. I don't recall the story too well. I just remember the animation being a big deal. Though I think whenever I think back to like then because I think part of the issue is I'm not very versed in like the movies that exist like in this world. Like I feel like I've probably seen more things from the 80s or like from other like from periods from before I was born than I have like things that have come out like during my lifetime. But I think this is just because I'm kind of I don't know. I'm kind of a freak whenever it comes to movies, and I watch the really old ones or really bad B movie horror movies. Like one of my favorites is Troll 2, as I have I think mentioned here before, is a favorite of mine. But yeah, HEB, it is the greatest grocery store to have. It's the only one I know. I guess would be the best way. Whatever happened to Troll 1? So this is the thing. There is a Troll 1. There is a Troll 1. Like if you look up Troll horror movie, this existed 1986. You want to know the kicker about Troll 2? The kicker about Troll 2 is it has nothing to do with this movie. They are not related at all. And you can actually look this up right here. Although produced under the original title Goblins, American distributors marketed it as a sequel to the 1986 horror film Troll. However, the two are unrelated, and Troll 2 features goblins rather than trolls. This is, it's kind of it's my favorite because there are so many parts to this that make like no sense and come together in kind of like the best like horrible way possible. Like if I remember correctly, the actual cast of this, they were not professional actors. The director, I believe, came here from Italy and went to a town in Utah and hired like a dentist and like other just like what would you say townsfolk, I guess you would say, like hired like various townsfolk to play as actors and actresses in this movie, which which was, if I recall this correctly, in his words, supposed to exemplify the, like the standard American family as he envisioned them, and also is about how he doesn't like vegetarians, but that would be the spoil, kind of the twist of the movie. How hello, Sparkly Dark Matter 73. Well, welcome to the worm zone. Welcome in, future entrepreneur, as they say. Welcome to the worm zone. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. But yeah, it's a we're talking about Troll 2. We are talking about Troll 2 currently, but I think we're at time, more or less. So I don't know. We made the part. I have, yeah, we will probably depart right on like the 10 o'clock mark this time. Not time. Oh no, wait, is Exor still dead? Oh no. Exor isn't back yet. When did we ban when did we accidentally banish Exor to the accursed lands? When did this occur? Right. Oh no. I feel bad. No, I may have to like depart right on the mark though, because I've been feeling somewhat ill. If if I if is not obvious from the, I believe, like at least the feeling of hoarseness in my voice. I do not know if this exists like within my speech itself, but talking is a rather complex thing. The allergies, as they call them, the spring, the confirmed Exor is dead. Oh no. The wrath of Ralice upon you. This is terrifying. But yeah, I'm rather in the hoarse voice zone. So I don't know. I think we might adjourn now. And Thursday, I finally keep true to what I said I would do, and I shall play The Elder Scrolls Arena, which is run through DOSBox, which is insane to think about. But we shall go arena style for that day to celebrate the cool number, the triplicity, as they say, of 111, which is a cool looking number. But yeah. Thank you all for worming out, We have we hang out here, and we hang out here for locales that, if you would like to worm out further and get in on the bottom floor of this startup, become a notable shareholder in the worm zone, which is totally not going away anytime soon. This is totally the way it is forever and ever for the rest of your life. Never ever will it change. So you must invest now. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Where should we go hang out at now? Who is alive? What kind of people do we have alive in this world? I think we will go to I think we're gonna go hang out with Salad for Us. I think this would be a rather fun. The main character is collecting worms. This is we you see, inside each and every one of us is a worm, just waiting for the chance to wriggle free into the brave new worm world. Where's the? Here we go. Yeah, I think we will go here. I think. Oh, they are doing music. Yeah, we are definitely going here. I see a topster, as they call it. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out. And see you Thursday. We will hot to it again, as they say. All right. Bye all.